Our subconscious is responsible for automatically evaluating stressful situations and adapting behavioral patterns as a result. The solution-finding function looks for the best possible solution, which is based on one's own values, the current possibilities, and the laws of evolution. If a trauma has been repressed and blocked, this can lead to severe psychosomatic stress. In this case, unfortunately, it means more and more psychosomatic limitations in the quality of life. Second possibility, the solution-finding function can be called up by a special method or therapy technique. If an old repressed situation, trauma, is changed in content through therapy and a stress load is present in this situation, the solution-finding function is automatically called up by our subconscious via our evolutionary adaptation programs, just as it works with newborn babies. Please see the newborn baby example in the appendix. Through the therapy or method, the repressed trauma is processed again by the subconscious as if it were a new situation. The best solution for that person is found on the basis of his own inner values and his current possibilities. Here, the 10 laws of evolution set the limits for the possible outcomes. Through the therapy technique, the old repressed and blocked situation has been classified as no longer life-threatening, and the subconscious is now allowed to adapt it and is no longer forced to exclusively avoid it. The person notices that he is increasingly standing by himself and his values. This is a fluctuating, slowly adapting process that promotes the person's self-confidence more and more and reduces the psychosomatic stresses. If the solution is found by the solution-finding function without triggering burdens, it is automatically integrated by the subconscious, and no burden avoidance patterns are activated. Blockades prevent the solution from being consciously perceived. Therefore, the conscious mind cannot reject the solution due to fears and feelings of guilt. Stress avoidance patterns or pain avoidance behavior are not triggered. When the solution-finding function of the subconscious mind has been activated and a new solution to a repressed trauma has been found, it is unconsciously integrated into the person's behavior pattern and translated into reality. Through the processing of the trauma and the newly found solution, there is an unconscious adaptation of the behavioral patterns that can lead to an improvement of the situation. Experts in the field of psychosomatics exploit this automatism in their therapies to achieve a positive change in stressful symptoms. Therapists often use methods that directly address the subconscious to achieve positive changes in behavior and symptoms. Here, the unconscious processes and behavioral patterns are targeted to achieve lasting changes. Through the activated evolution and pain avoidance mechanisms, the person slowly changes his actions. These become more and more authentic, so that the person slowly becomes more and more true to himself and his own inner values. These changes in actions are an indication of a positive change in the person as he identifies more with his values and needs. Each person is unique, and the changes can be experienced differently. The person notices the urge to act, to stand up for himself in areas where he used to avoid. By transforming the old negative behavior patterns into positive behavior patterns through therapy, a person can learn to stand up for himself more and follow his own inner values. The new or changed situation contains stress and is classified as new. Thereupon, the solution-finding function is activated. The consciousness is informed about the solution found, accompanied by thoughts and ideas, and the person has the opportunity to consciously decide whether or not to accept the solution. When a new or changed situation is perceived as stressful, the PCCE is automatically activated to find a solution. The conscious mind is informed about the solution found, and the person has the possibility to consciously accept or reject this solution. Whether the solution is accepted or rejected depends on the person's motivation, beliefs, and values. The solution can be consciously rejected, in which case the habit and behavior patterns remain unchanged. The solution can be consciously accepted, in which case the habit and behavioral programs slowly adapt to the consciousness decision. The conscious mind decides how it wants to act, and the behavior and habits can adapt accordingly. However, it may take time and effort to change deeply ingrained habits. People often have a strong tendency to revert to their old patterns of behavior, especially when they want to avoid stress. However, if the motivation is strong enough and the person is willing to make mental and behavioral efforts, he can change his patterns of action and habits. Brief summary. A situation that triggers stress automatically triggers the evolutionary situation adaptation flowchart. The subconscious divides situations into two categories: stress-triggering and stress-free situations. This classification is based on past experiences and memories and can change over time. A stressful situation can lead to the fight or flight response. If the stressful situation is new or changed, but has not been repressed and blocked, the subconscious can activate its solution-finding function. The reaction of the subconscious to stressful situations is complex and depends on many factors, such as personality, past, and current emotional and physical state. The solution found may be rejected if it triggers stress or for other reasons, such as fear of change, lack of confidence, lack of resources, etc. In such cases, the person's behavior pattern remains unchanged. These steps describe a simplified representation of the process of how the brain can react to stressful situations. 2.5. The Psychosomatic Control Code of Evolution, PCCE, functions without conscious analytical thinking. The Psychosomatic Control Code of Evolution, PCCE, also functions without conscious analytical thinking. This mechanism is unconscious and based on instincts and automatic reactions to counter stressful stimuli and survive. Although it cannot be directly controlled by conscious analytical thinking, it can still be influenced by conscious behavioral changes, mental training, and therapy. The evolution of animal life with its best possible adaptation to the current environment began roughly in the Cambrian period, about 540 million years ago. The Cambrian is a period in the Earth's history in which life on Earth developed rapidly. Many different kinds of animals and plants evolved during this time, and there was a great biological diversity. Evolution has also included humans, which developed from prehistoric primates. Before that, there was too little oxygen for animal life. Source: Max Planck Society. The evolution of animals began later than thought. Since then, there have been many animal creatures that are not or have not been able to think analytically. Nevertheless, all animal creatures have adapted to their environment as much as possible. This is done through their body's own mechanisms, such as instinctive behavior and responses to stimuli. Brief summary. The Psychosomatic Control Code of Evolution, PCCE, functions even without conscious analytical thinking. This mechanism is unconscious and based on instincts and automatic reactions to counter stressful stimuli and survive. The PCCE can be influenced by conscious behavioral changes, mental training, and therapy. Animals have adapted to their environment through natural selection and evolution, even without conscious analytical thinking. PCCE is an automatic process designed to ensure the survival and adaptation of the living being to its environment. 2.6. The intervention of the Psychosomatic Control Code of Evolution, PCCE, is triggered by key stimuli. The Psychosomatic Control Code of Evolution is triggered by certain key stimuli that demand a change or adaptation of behavioral patterns to the environment. These stimuli can be internal, e.g. pain, or external, e.g. external environmental conditions. The first key stimulus is a changed situation. When a situation has changed, the subconscious mind is activated to check whether it needs a new solution to the situation and to perform the solution-finding function to find a suitable solution. The second key stimulus is the subjectively felt stress or positive experience. When a person perceives a new or changed situation as stressful or burdensome, the subconscious mind is activated and begins to search for a solution. Likewise, a positive experience can also serve as a key stimulus to establish a new pattern of action. The subconscious reacts to changing life situations and checks whether protective mechanisms are necessary to avoid stresses or to increase positive experiences. It acts instinctively and out of habit to ensure the survival and well-being of the individual. When the subconscious recognizes that a life situation has changed, it checks whether and according to which rules it should now act, even if there is no stress in the situation. If it is not a negative situation, it evaluates whether it is a normal, neutral situation where actions remain unchanged or whether positive experiences can be made. If the situation is evaluated as positive, the subconscious can reinforce corresponding behavior patterns and habits, or build new ones to enable similar positive experiences in the future. However, if the evaluation of the situation is negative, the solution-finding function is activated to find a solution to the changed situation. For this purpose, the option adaptation of the situation or avoidance of the situation is available.